The In It Together with Lori Lynn Green talk show is a positive way to start your day. Ready for some encouragement?
Yeah, let's do it. I'm pumped. Let's let the healing begin.
Come be inspired, hear moving stories, even laugh out loud.
Can't make heads or tail of what I'm saying.
It's just incomprehensible.
Life moves pretty fast. You don't stop and look around once in a while, you could miss it.
You'll hear real people doing real things to make a real impact.
You are heroes every day.
Hear honest, compassionate, engaging issues you care about.
You see people come together to do good in our community, and the more we come together, the more good we can do.
Listen in and get started on redesigning your life and hear what's positive in Greater Manchester. Here's your happy host, Lori Lynn Green.
Good morning, friends in Greater Manchester. Welcome to In It Together. We're so glad that you've tuned in. If you'd like to find us on the web, you can go to inittogether.net, listen live, watch your previous shows, even link to our Facebook, our Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you like and follow us, you'll see we're bringing out the best in people to influence positive change in this community and beyond. Today is Personal Safety Day with Master Trainer of Defensive Strategies, Bob Boilard. And we're going to be going through over several weeks some safety topics that help us to refuse to be a victim. Today it starts off with how our kindness can actually hurt us. So we're going to be back right after this brief message. Stay tuned.
Little Leapers and Knowledge Keepers Childcare and Preschool offers learning experiences that give kids a healthy sense of self and meaningful connections to the world around them. We teach children from a positive perspective so they learn healthy conflict resolution and develop character. Owner Jennifer Lever has over 28 years' experience in child development. She's helped children learn to read as young as 18 months. Join our happy place where we make happy happen, located in Pinardville, bordering Bedford and Manchester. Call today at 603-491-1780.
Hi, I'm Lori Lynn Green, Advancement Strategist and owner of AlphaAdvancementStrategies.com. I've been very successful at helping people overcome stressful situations to get immediate results in their personal and professional lives. At Alpha Advancement Strategies, we provide a non-judgmental and supportive environment, empowering clients to focus more on reaching their goals. You can find us on the web at alphaadvancementstrategies.com or call us at 603-860-9260. Alpha Advancement Strategies is where you invest in yourself.
Hi, I'm Jen Lever, anchor of the Recovery Now segments. Join me Tuesdays at 9 a.m. where I offer support to families struggling with addiction. Hear personal stories, learn the signs of addiction, and get help for your loved ones. Only on In It Together with Lori Lynn Green.
Welcome back to In It Together, kicking off personal safety. Good morning, Bob.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm doing great.
Awesome.
In light of our subject, I'm doing great.
Yeah, I see you have a new mic stand. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, the other one kept falling through the table, so
that's
we
not
figured
good.
it was probably time to change that a little bit.
Probably.
Yeah, I tell you, I got to tell you, we're not perfect here. We started off with like pieces of this, pieces of that, and it's a work in progress, even as we are, right?
Of course.
And there's nothing wrong with that. We are where we are. What do they say? Wherever you are, just be there. Just be there.
Is that how it goes? I thought no matter where you go, there you are.
Oh, okay, yeah. Same thing, I guess. But yeah, I think yours is right. So today's topic, you sent me some safe.
Yeah. Well, the SAFE program is a Second Amendment Foundation Training Division program, and it's actually got 5 different modules to it. Home and vehicle and business and active shooter training, OC training. So this is our SAFE program, and it's basically pretty much about situational awareness and
right.
Crime statistics, all that good stuff. It's a great program. And
now, how long have you been doing this program, Bob?
This program is now about 2 years old,
Okay.
So it's
And
very similar to NRA, Refuse to be a Victim, except it's very much more in depth than that one.
Now, are you one of the? Is it SAFE that you're part of?
I'm one of the national founders of the S.A.F. training
That's
division.
what I thought.
Yeah.
And so that happened a couple years ago with other people who were leaders like you in this arena.
Yeah, we actually started in 2014, so we're coming up on 5-year anniversary here.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, believe it or not.
Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun, man, I'll tell you.
And I love this because really the whole thing is about I went to, like I said, your Refuse to be a Victim classes a while back, and if this is more in depth, then I think this is fabulous because one of the things I noticed when I went through that class was how much common sense is not common.
Oh, yeah.
And
that is so true.
It is. And what it was is like, yeah, I see that, but I'm not paying attention. Well, what it did was it made me start to pay attention.
Yeah.
And for that, I'm grateful. And I think a lot of people could benefit from this.
Well, yeah.
class.
I mean, it goes back to the core thing that I've been talking about all along is, the 4 stages of a crime, and what criminals look for. So, we talk about criminal psychology, how they select their victims, all that good stuff, and we're much better off if we know that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, because now, we do firearms training. We teach you how to protect yourself. We teach you how to react to a violent situation. But 90% of this is we don't want you to have to react to a violent situation. Okay, we want you to be able to prevent the crime before it even happens.
Right.
Okay, so preventative measures is very important, and that's what the S.A.F. program is all about.
Yeah, and I like that because, this is why your company is called Defensive Strategies, because you take the defensive standpoint. You have said this once, if you've said it 100 times on here, is how do you say it?
Yeah, it's preventive. We don't want you to be able to have to react to a violent situation, but prevent it before it happens.
Yeah, basically, any the best confrontation is one you never have to have, or something like that.
Right.
So we come at it from that perspective. Is even in the firearms discussion, it's always the tool of last resort, and
of course,
I love that about what you do. It's never about I went to one class and now I'm Rambo, or but there are people out there who
there are those classes out there. That's for sure.
There are people who also will they'll learn one thing or something in some type of self-defense, but they don't know the situational awareness, so they wouldn't know even when to use it. And so this is why we are advocates for training, very important for training, for your own safety and for the safety of those that are around you when you decide to do something when you shouldn't. So today, I'm the one who titled today's topic of how your kindness can be used against you.
Yeah, well, it's a good topic. And it's very true. Okay, and a lot of criminals will take kindness as weakness.
Yeah.
Okay, and it really is a fine line between what you do and basically what it comes down to is you have to understand that trust is earned. It's not given. Okay, even though we're kind to somebody, it doesn't mean we trust them. Okay.
Yeah. And
we always have to keep our guard up. So, I mean, that's one of, life's important lessons.
Right. Well, I wanted to take a little bit from this is from the beginning of your S.A.F. Your S.A.F. course. It says here, and that's actually, I think this is directed toward like a church or a house of worship.
Yeah.
Typically, it says every day predatory criminals take advantage of our kindness and compassion.
Yep.
It says we are taught to help out where and when we can. We're taught to trust and be kind.
Right.
We're taught to look for good in people. We're taught not to hurt or kill anyone. These traits of goodness are what can be used against us.
Right.
And it's so true. It reminds me of, and if anybody's seen the movie The Green Mile, it was all about horrible murder. This predatory guy murdered these 2 young girls, and there was this big guy. His name was Coffee or something like that. That was trying to save the girls, and they thought he was the one that hurt them.
Yeah.
Well, going through the whole movie, it just comes down to one of the statements he made in there was he sees it all the time, and he was kind of like a prophetic person or something. He says he sees it all the time in the world. It's so painful to watch. And the worst part is they use their love to hurt them.
Right.
And I'm like, wow, yeah. That was really profound because that's so true. Someone trying to, how many times we've seen scenarios where, to lure children away or something. It's, do you want some candy or show them a puppy? And we're using that sweet, sensitive side to lure.
Happens all the time.
In order to hurt them. And so that's this extremely perverted thinking.
Right.
And you want to prevent that by, part of the training you give is so that people become more situationally aware and know when it's okay.
Yeah.
Like for me, and I'm going to be honest, I was sharing this with Bob this morning. I've had someone try to get in my vehicle before, things like that, where fortunately they didn't get in. But when you have what we call a disparity of force, when there's somebody bigger than you, stronger than you, trying to come against you, you have two choices at that point. You're going to be the meek little good Christian woman that that most people know me as, but I have also been in situations where my life has been threatened, or I've been threatened with something for somebody who's bigger than me, who might be angry or whatever. And my response isn't always going to be sweet because of that. Maybe a man could do that with another man, but I'm a woman and I'm smaller, and that means all the more I have to make sure you understand that I am not going to be your victim.
Yep.
So that means yelling, throwing something, even using a cuss word. I'm saying it, I'm going to be honest.
No.
Even using, not because that's my normal everyday thing, but this is to let this person know this is not going to happen today, not now, not ever. And you get to decide now whether you're willing to come and mess with this. You know what I mean?
Yeah. That's one of the things is that, you talked about disparity of force, is that they look for disparities like that, okay?
Right.
Because they like to be the one in power, okay? They want to, obviously, when they commit a crime, they don't want to get hurt.
Right.
All right? They don't want to get caught, all right? So they try to select victims that they can surprise, they can overpower, okay? And, a small frame woman, that's a perfect victim for them because...
That plus my, I don't have a lot of strength or a lot of stamina and a lot
other than the 45 that's on your side,
Well, like you said, it's a tool of last resort.
That's right.
So that means if I have to look like a crazy woman and say some words that aren't nice before that.
You talked about how we're taught, all our lives to be fair, to love, to trust people, to be kind and be honest, and okay. This is pounded into us from the time we are born to the to the time we die, basically, okay. But certain things we have to understand is that in a situation where a violent situation where we're fighting for our lives, okay, there are no rules, okay. We don't fight fair. We can't fight fair, all right, if we want to stay alive, okay.
There's no politeness
Cheat
when
if
your
you
life
have
is
to.
at stake.
And
I know, this is so right. This is why I started it off with the idea that, as the person that I am, most people know me, somebody who's kind, somebody who, all this stuff. But the truth is we all have these instincts. You put me in a corner, and now you're going to get crazy woman that even I haven't seen. You know what I mean? And so we got a comment in here, which I love this. Somebody's recognizing this is situational awareness, and she's also saying that she tries to never be alone in unfamiliar territory. Absolutely true. I've always had that motto. I taught my kids to have that.
Well, there is definitely safety in numbers.
Yeah.
Okay. Other than active shooter situations, criminals don't usually target groups. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean that premise is certainly true. Where there is safety in numbers. Okay, because obviously more witnesses and all that. There's a number of reasons why.
Well, they're looking for the easy target,
So, right.
Looking for the easy target, and they're not going to get one when there's more than one person.
Right.
I mean, that changes the disparity of force the other way around.
Right.
That we're talking about.
So, but I mean, using your kindness as to throw you off guard happens every day.
Yeah.
Okay. Simple things like, somebody's walking by you and, you're outside smoking a cigarette or something on that idea, and they'll stop and say, "Hey, do you have an extra cigarette?" And while you're going to, get your cigarettes in your pocket, now you're distracted, and that's when they pounce on you. Okay. I mean, little things like that is, your kindness. Yeah, I'll give you a cigarette. Okay. Or do you have a few
because they're trying
cents in your pocket that I can have,
Right.
or it happens every day. So
The only thing I can say is criminals can be like salesmen. They come and they try to find your pain, or they try to build a rapport with you.
Yep.
It's the same thing. They're just in the wrong business. Okay, a very dangerous business.
Oh, yeah.
But it is their way of life, and it shouldn't be. We'll get another comment here. This crazy woman comes out sometimes with me too. I always taught my son to walk with shoulders up and head held high. Body language is a factor too. Absolutely.
oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yep. Good comment.
Yep.
When it all in how you carry yourself. Okay, if you carry yourself with confidence, you carry yourself like you're in charge of your life, you probably never become a victim.
Right.
Okay, because again, criminals select their victims for certain reasons. One is, they want to be able to overpower them. They want to be able to surprise them. Okay, if you're paying attention to your surroundings and you know who's around you, and they think you can identify them, you probably never become a victim.
Right.
Okay,
So,
because you potentially could hurt them or get them thrown in jail. So
yeah, it makes me think of what you had told me a while ago. Back to how the kindness can be. You go down the road, or especially up in New England. Down south, everybody's like, "Hey, how you doing? Bless your heart."
Yeah.
Do you know them? No. Up here, it's like, I don't know you. I don't even look at you.
Yeah.
But Bob
go to New York. It's even worse.
One of the things I learned in your class when you're walking down the road or whatever like that, don't put your head down or whatever. You look them straight in the eye so they know you saw them.
Exactly.
You can identify them.
Yeah.
Because these people, just remember, someone that does this type of a criminal activity is a coward.
Yep.
And the fact that they chose this as a profession was their first mistake.
Yeah, I mean, you go to New York, it's entirely different.
Yeah.
Okay, New Yorkers will not make eye contact with you.
Yeah.
Okay, they don't want to make eye contact with you because they think that for a lot of people that's going to cause you to hurt me.
Right.
Okay, and that's not what we're trying to do. We're not trying to stare somebody down to get
Right. I was just writing that. It's not the same thing.
Right. We're just trying to make eye contact to say, "Hey, I acknowledge you," basically, and that's all you need.
Yeah.
Okay?
You're not staring them and giving them a look.
I've had New Yorkers in my refuse to be a victim classes before, and they will argue with you, saying, "No, never make eye contact with them." Okay. I says, I beg to differ, but
We're not
statistics
taking
say
advice
that
from New York. Anyway.
it's best to make eye contact with them.
Taking advice
Yeah.
from certain places is unnecessary.
As New Yorkers.
Anyway, some people love New York. All right, so as we're talking about, situational awareness and how your kindness can be used, for those of you who haven't, first I want to welcome those who are listening via internet radio and on live stream this morning. If you want to comment, ask questions, we would love to hear them from you. Also, if you want to give us a call at 603-384-3535, you're welcome to do that as well. But back to the how they use your kindness against you. For those of you who didn't hear when I first got on, I was explaining how most people know me as kind and good Christian woman, whatever you want to say.
Yeah.
But backed into a corner, and my life is threatened, and I'm going to encourage you as well. Do not be afraid to become a crazy person. And I've had someone try to get in my car. I've had someone, I've had people following me, lots of things, and it's okay for you. And things came out of my mouth that are not things you'd say in church. But if the perpetrator or the person coming after you doesn't see that you're willing to take a stand, especially in that disparity of force we said, then you're still in danger. And so, a lot of people don't typically hear, somebody say that, but I'm giving you permission, whoever you are. Another comment here says, every year I road trip from New Hampshire to Florida. If I need to take a pit stop, my good sense lets me know what feels comfortable. I listen for that. That's another good point.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that's another good one. Trust your instincts.
Yeah.
Okay. Your instincts are basically a collective of all your life experiences.
Yeah.
Okay. And that instinct is uncanny, all right, usually right. All right. If it doesn't feel right, it probably isn't.
Yeah, and don't ever go against it.
Right. Listen to your instincts, okay? Even if it means going to the next pit stop, okay?
Changing your mind. Well, let's
right.
just pause here for a second. Good example. I was going to a business meeting back in, I don't know, late 80s, early 90s down at, it was at the time the center of New Hampshire. And it was dark out, and I arrived on the side road. There was also, I think, a club over there, so there was a lot of people outside. People were drinking, and I just did not feel comfortable. I did not feel comfortable getting out of my car alone and taking the long walk alone into there. I had a meeting I had to be at with, it was a group meeting, a lot of people. And at that moment, I just said, I had to weigh it. Am I going to endanger my life to go to this meeting, or am I just going to go home? And I just went home. I don't know what would have happened, but and that's not paranoia. That was like nighttime, a bunch of people out there was sketchy, and I just said, my gut told me this isn't comfortable, and I didn't go against it. So, it's okay. If someone doesn't like you, someone gets mad at you because you decide not to go to a meeting or something, that's really not your problem.
In anything like that, when you have a situation like that, you weigh your options, okay? And that's what our entire lives are, is every single day we make a, series of options or decisions for our lives, okay? And, making the wrong decision can get us into a bad position.
Absolutely.
Okay, so and that's what our instincts are there for, okay? It's telling us, maybe you shouldn't do this. You can, but maybe you shouldn't do this.
Okay, well, so for us who are believers, I mean, we know that's the Spirit of God telling us something's not right, and we want to follow that always in every situation. We do have to take a brief break. So those of you who are listening, please stay tuned and support those who support us, and we'll be back right after this.
Mark Major knows that great coaches need constant training to be effective. As a certified coach, teacher, and speaker with the John Maxwell team, Mark can help you identify and activate your personal and professional goals. If you seek to do more and be more, look up Mark on the web at johnmaxwellgroup.com/MARC-Major or call 603-674-6818. Mark Major, growing leaders and adding value.
Morgan Self-Storage has been serving Manchester and Salem, New Hampshire for over 15 years. Facilities are heated with security and video surveillance in well-lit hallways, easy access loading, and high-capacity elevators. With many-sized units, portable trailers, and boxes for moving, we can meet your residential or business storage needs. 400 Bedford Street in Manchester or 8 Willow Street in Salem. Visit morganstorage.com or call us at 603-623-2000. Morgan Self-Storage, making self-storage secure, safe, and easy.
Hi, this is Lori Lynn Green, Advancement Strategist and Coach Trainer at alphaadvancementstrategies.com. Join me Mondays at 9 a.m. where I'll talk about ways to help keep you moving forward in life. Only on In It Together with Lori Lynn Green. Welcome back to In It Together in the midst of personal safety with DJ Bob. Bob used to be a DJ for like 25 years. I love seeing your head bob in there.
I did.
Happy guy.
Interesting.
Did you do the duck dance and all that stuff?
The duck dance?
I don't know. All the wedding stuff.
Oh. Yeah, there was the Macarena. There was the Hustle. There was what was the other one?
That must have been a
It's
crime
been
to
so
watch
long
you.
now.
But
I've
anyway,
been out
moving
of the business
forward.
for 20 years. So
All right. So, you know, as we're talking about today, if those of you just tuning in, we're talking about how your kindness can be used against you and how to stand against that. Also, Bob offers this great SAFE class that teaches you situational awareness and that. But let me just put, there's a comment, the last comment, and then we can go into what you were doing. There was a comment that someone says, we aren't supposed to be doormats as Christians. Amen, sister. Somewhere the message of allowing people to walk all over us is some kind of a humility, right?
Right.
And in that it's loving has crept into the church and you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You know, we are to be loving and kind and helping people, yes, but we are also supposed to be fierce believers for justice and for what's right. And
yeah, well,
there's nothing wrong with that.
That whole thing goes back to, turn the other cheek. If someone hits you in one cheek, then give them the other one, offer them up the other one. But,
right. I think that what that's talking about is like if a brother and sister in Christ are having an argument, obviously you want to, go back and reconcile that. Yeah. That's different than the evil, the world.
Right.
It's talking about brothers and sisters in Christ.
Completely different when someone is trying to basically rape you or take your life or try to kill you.
Go.
There's a whole different story. Okay. And believe me, the Bible has many verses on that also. Right. Okay. Remember that He instilled in us those instincts. Okay. And our instincts is to survive. Period. Okay. We have survival instincts built into us.
Yep.
And that wasn't, that's placed there by God. Okay. And that instinct to survive comes before food, shelter, and water.
Right.
Okay, so we have to understand that. And, I can find you plenty of instances in the Bible where it is okay for you to stand up for yourself and protect your life. Okay?
Yeah, actually.
Against the evil in the world.
Actually, I have a scripture that's there's one in Matthew 11:12. It was talking about, and from the days of John the Baptist until now, the kingdom of heaven suffers violence, and the violent take it by force.
Yep.
And so that's what they're talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, that doesn't mean we're trying to be violent. It means that if something is violent towards us, we can. It's not even a retaliation. It's a stopping something from continuing because it's not just going to hurt you, but somebody else.
Right.
That's why we have the justice system.
And there's so many Christians that take that wrong. Okay, where you look at all the number of Christians that are being slaughtered in the world right now.
Unbelievable.
Okay, in Africa and other countries, it's just
unacceptable.
Right.
And we should not stand for that. Any genocide of any kind is not okay. And this is why we have such a strong stance on abortion as well. Okay, so there's another comment here. It says, I think you consciously practice safety and you're consciously aware that stuff happens. You'll habitually do things that don't put you in harm's way. Yes. Right. For instance, if I stop at a store, even a regular place I frequent, and I just run in for a moment, whoever I have in the car regarding husband, mom, I ask them to lock the door till I return. I do that all the time. Yep. Always lock your door when you're parked or somebody's in it. Yep. Definitely.
Yeah, it's basically when you start doing this stuff, it's basically a lifestyle change. Okay. Yeah. Because it's a lifestyle change that doesn't cost you anything.
And it's not paranoia, it's wisdom.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
It's just, paying attention to who's around you and what their intent is, okay? And you'd be surprised at what you see out there in the world when you actually get your, heads out of the cell phones and actually paying attention to who's around you.
Definitely dangerous to have your cell phone. We watched a video Bob had showed. This woman came out of a store, had a cell phone, went up behind her car, and there was a guy next to her car with his trunk open, and she had her head down. He just put her in his trunk.
Yep.
Drove her away.
Never even noticed. So.
All right. So moving right along.
All right. So our SAFE program. Okay. When the home and vehicle basically starts off by going through stats. Okay. So some of these stats are actually pretty disturbing. Okay. There's a violent crime that occurs every 25.3 seconds in this country.
Wow.
Okay? Every 25 seconds, there is a violent crime. There is one murder every 35.6 minutes. Okay? So you figure out how many murders there are in a year in this country. All right? There is a forcible rape every 6.2 minutes. Okay, and rape, remember, is not just men. I mean, not just women. It's also men. 10% of all rapes are men. Okay, and those are the ones that are reported. Okay,
A lot of men wouldn't.
A lot of men will not report rape. Exactly.
Right. Yeah, well, women are getting aggressive. I'll tell you that for sure.
Yeah. Well, most of the time it's men that's raping men, but.
Oh, really? Oh, good
yeah.
Lord.
Yeah.
Strike that from the show, please.
Sorry.
All right, anyway.
There is one robbery every 1.4 minutes. Okay. Wow. So, again, home invasions and home robberies, that is very high on the list, especially if you live in Manchester. Yeah. Okay. You have a very high chance of being a victim because as the opioid crisis continues, these people are trying to look for things they can steal to get money to buy drugs. Okay, there is one aggravated assault every 40.5 seconds. Okay, now aggravated assault really is attempted murder. Okay, but they make it a little less and call it aggravated assault. Okay. There is a property crime that occurs every 3.5 seconds. Okay, a property crime usually is a break-in, a home invasion, or something on that idea. Okay, so again, you are 5 times more likely to be the victim of a home invasion than you are a home fire. Okay,
wow.
So there is one burglary every 14.6 seconds. Okay. So that would encompass both businesses in homes. Okay. One larceny theft every 5.1 seconds. Okay, so most of this is usually cars. Okay, but it's also all other larceny thefts. Okay, which is basically $1,500 and above. Okay. One motor vehicle theft every 42.8 seconds. So these are just some of the statistics. Okay. Now, a big one that you need to know is all women will experience, okay, well, not women, but 3/4 of women, okay, 75% of women will experience a violent crime sometime in their life, okay? That's either domestic violence, rape, or whatever it is, okay? 75% of women. That number is huge. And it just goes with exactly what I'm saying, is that women are a target because men think they can overpower them, okay? But which is why, okay, women are not taking it anymore, okay? They're carrying guns now, okay?
Bob, you've had an influx of women training for firearms in your classes over the last few years like you've never seen before.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Actually, before Trump came in, we were training 24 women every month. Mm-hmm. Okay, so and that's just our company, and this is nationwide. This is women are the fastest growing sector of the firearms industry.
Right.
So and they're buying guns like crazy.
Some of them are
beware, guys.
Some of them are already previous victims of domestic violence. Some of them are living in rural places or suburbs or whatever. Mm-hmm. Others, you've even developed classes for like real estate agents, because there's women or men. Typically, a real estate agent will go out and they'll meet somebody at a secluded house all by themselves, and they're a perfect target for someone to just call and have you to meet there. There's a lot of things.
We have another module that is going to be coming out in the next few months. That's going to be added to the S.A.F.E modules.
Right.
Of basically empty hand techniques. Okay. Right. And what do you do when someone does sneak up behind you, grab you by the neck or whatever it is? Okay. How do you get out of that situation? Mm-hmm. So we've got a module coming up for this, which is going to be a 4-hour program, which basically teaches you how to get out of situations and disable your attacker long enough for you to get away.
Yeah.
So
that's important.
And again, it basically comes down to there are no rules. Okay. Just knowing a little bit of anatomy, okay, will get you out of a situation. Okay, where to hit, where to stomp on,
right, yeah, and again, I can't emphasize enough. and we've talked about this throughout the show, but, before we're almost closing, and I just want to say that this program is really an act of love on my part for people. A lot of people say, well, how does that fit in with your outreach, your love, and all this stuff? I'm going to tell you how it fits in. Yeah. This is to help you to refuse to be a victim, to be situationally aware, and know that, what evil is in the world. And the bottom line is, like I said before, I may be the nice Christian woman you might see at a worship event or something like that.
You should have heard it during the break.
but my life has been threatened in the past, and in that moment, things came out of my mouth, and I had taken whatever was in my hand to throw it. You do what you have to stay alive, and so today is a day where I give people permission that are supposed to be nice, and their kindness, they're always supposed to be kind and turn the other cheek and all this stuff. These are words to brothers and sisters in Christ, not to the evil that is in the world coming against you. And know this right now.
Exactly.
You have been given authority over that stuff, and you have the right to move in and stop something for the sake of the justice of it and to prevent it from hurting somebody else.
Exactly right.
I take that stand.
Right.
I take that stand.
Remember, trust is earned, not given. Okay, so even though you show kindness to somebody, remember, keep your guard up at all times.
So just to say, this program does not go against what what we talk about. It actually helps what we're talking about. Another comment, VNA staff are always dealing with safety issues, especially on call in the nighttime hours. I can imagine that. And also, look at the hospitals all have parking garages and things like this. Yep. Always have to be aware of these things.
Big place to make, that's right. Where a lot of these crimes occur is in parking garages. Parking garages, make sure you park where the lights are, where the fire poles are, or if there's any cameras in the parking garages, make sure you park near the cameras. Okay.
And there's other things, like there are people who can't always have somebody with them, but there are certain places you can try to park closer to the entries or whatever. But also taking a class through Bob, learning the situational awareness. Bob teaches pepper spray. He teaches, there's other tools if you don't want to carry a firearm. There's other tools, even if he does carry a firearm, that you could use first. There's a lot of ways, but in order for you to know that, you need to come and take a class.
I usually say it like this: the best tool that you carry to protect yourself is violence.
And most people think that's a negative thing.
Right, but it's not. So
it's not a negative thing. I've had to use that. Like I said, if you saw me defending myself as opposed to how you see me every day, you would think, who is this crazy woman? and I will tell you, I really don't want to see
that part of you.
I do not. Well, Bob, you've been nice so far. We're doing great. Now, but no, I mean, I need to say this to people because people are afraid to do this. They go, well, gee, should I, shouldn't I? I'm saying yes. Yes, do it. Defend yourself and defend those who need that justice. I'm not saying we're looking for trouble, but we are. We are not apologizing anymore for the reality of this. Yep. And there's always going to be evil in the world, but we
unfortunately
we need to obviously we want to convert people and teach them how to love, but there's some people who just aren't having it.
That's true.
They just don't want to have it. Yeah. All right, so we are out of time, unfortunately. Do you want to tell people how to get in touch with you?
You can find us at defensivestrategies.org or call me directly at 603-566-1727. Have a good week.
All right, that is awesome. That concludes today's Personal Safety. Tomorrow, I have special, lovely Marnie Wells is coming back to the microphone tomorrow. She's a mom of 12. And we'll be talking about seasons of life. So make sure you join us tomorrow. And until then, have a blessed day. And remember, we're in it together.